All right, we are back, folks, and we are going to start working on our body paragraph number 1, which is the same as our reason number 1. Did we know that they were the same? Hopefully, but now you know, right? So our body paragraph number 1 explains our reason number 1, which we wrote in our thesis statement. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is write a topic sentence. So you're going to say, okay, well, what is a topic sentence? Well, I want you to imagine, I don't know, let's say like imagine a tree, right? So a tree's got a lot of different parts to it. The top part of the tree, that's going to be the topic sentence, right? This is what is going to bring the whole thing together, right? That's what makes sure it's not bare. Your trunk is going to be your example. Okay, so that's what you have your paragraph to stand up on. And then the roots, what's down below, that's going to be your transition sentence. How are you going to make it all work together and then flow to the next paragraph? Okay, so the topic sentence is really what dresses the whole thing up. It gives us an idea of what we're going to say. I'm going to erase that tree. And let's focus on our topic sentence. So, let's review real quick. So, we know our first reason was social status. So, we need to explain what we mean by how technology provides a sense of social status. So, I'm just going to write that up here just so we remember, kind of have an idea. Okay, so what do we mean by social status? Well, that's going to be a great topic sentence, right? We're going to have to explain to our reader what we mean when we say social status, right? So we can talk about how teenagers get a feeling of being cool, of being important when they come in with a brand new iPhone, whatever it is. I don't want to sound old, but here I'm going to sound old. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write my topic sentence. You go ahead and pause yours, and then we can hopefully do it together. All right, so I went ahead and wrote my topic sentence. I said that teens are often looking for ways to seem important to their friends and peers. Unfortunately, they do this by spending money on the latest gadgets. Social status will be an issue among teenagers for as long as there is peer pressure. Okay, so I have set up my body paragraph. I have explained to you that the reason for social status is because of peer pressure. I have explained to you that teens are always looking for ways to seem important to their friends and peers. And how do they do this? They do this by spending money on the latest gadgets. Okay, so I've set up my body paragraph by explaining to you what exactly is it that they do. Okay, so go ahead and pause for a minute if you haven't already and write your topic sentence about your first reason, right? Set me up, explain to me what exactly it is that you're going to talk about. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is provide an example. All right, so we can't just leave it at this and then move on, right? So because we don't really actually support that claim, so we have to provide an example. Obviously, you're not going to know facts, right? We don't have time to research. This isn't what this is about, so you're not going to be able to provide any kind of stat or fact. And I can tell you right now, if you make something up, they're going to know. I'm going to know. Everyone's going to know. So don't do it. Don't make something up. But what you can do is provide a personal experience. Or you can, and believe it or not, make up a fictional story. Okay? So those are the two routes you can take. You can do personal experience, make up a fictional story. If you know a current event, even better, right? So you can bring in current events, you can bring in personal experiences, you can make up a fictional story, Any of these are okay. What I'm begging you not to do is make up a stat or a fact, right? You can't say 30% of teens have a new iPhone by the time they're 6 years old. Okay, that's obviously incorrect. Don't make it up. Just don't do it. All right, so we've got our topic sentence. The next thing that we need to do is give an example of our statement, right? So our statement was that new gadgets equal social status. Well, how do I know, right? How do I know this fact is true? Okay, so you can go very basic. For example, a student to class with a new iPhone 10, and all of the sudden they are surrounded by everyone in the classroom. Okay, so we have given a small example, a small story of what happens when someone walks in with a new phone. Okay, so this is our example. But what we haven't done is tied it all together. So we haven't said, okay, basically, why is it important that they're surrounded by everyone in the classroom? What does this show, right? So we have to say, what does this prove? Okay, so that's how we go into our explanation, which is the final part of our body paragraph, right? We have to explain what exactly it is that our example proves, right? You can say very basic, this proves, this shows, this demonstrates, right? Or you can fancy it up if you want, but those are some ways that you can get around with having to think very hard about it, right? So I'm going to go very basic, right? This demonstrates that an otherwise, we can say, ordinary student and ordinary day became much more exciting when something, run out of space here, new, I'm going to say like a phone comes around. I'm obviously reaching here a little bit, but I want you to see, right, how to bring it full circle. And literally, think about it as a circle. Well, that's a very awful circle, but we've got our topic sentence, right? We've got our example. We've got our explanation. Sometimes you may have to provide another example. That's okay. It is always good to elaborate and then explain it. I spelled explain wrong. And then bring it back to topic sentence, right? It needs to come full circle. You need to show how all of that stuff is related. So I'm going to jump back here real quick. All right, so let's read it from the beginning. Topic sentence. Teens are often looking for ways to seem more important to their friends and peers. Unfortunately, they do this by spending money on the latest gadgets. Social status will be an issue among teenagers for as long as there is peer pressure. For example, a student walks into class with a new iPhone, and all of a sudden they are surrounded by everyone in the classroom. This demonstrates that an otherwise ordinary student, an ordinary day, oops, I missed it. Not say day. See why it's good to proofread? Ordinary day became much more exciting when something new like a phone comes around. All right, you can elaborate, right? Because there are some things that I mentioned that I didn't quite get around to explaining, right? I didn't talk about the spending money part. I didn't talk about why that is unfortunate. Or you can move on. I know there's limited space. They know there's limited space. What you're trying to prove is that you know how to write an essay in a logical order and you know how to keep your thoughts in order, okay? That's what you're trying to show. We know that you don't have very long to write this, so we're not asking you to write a memoir. We're not asking you to write something that is just, researched or whatever. We're asking for you to demonstrate to us that you can put your thoughts in an order that makes sense. All right, I'm going to pause here. Go ahead and flesh out that body paragraph. You can always go back in and edit it more, but make sure that you have a topic sentence, an example, and an explanation for your body paragraph number 1. And then we'll go on to the body paragraph number 2.